Have you ever stopped to observe the length of your ring finger compared to your index finger? This seemingly insignificant difference might be revealing deep secrets about your soul and the karma you carry in this lifetime. Carl Jung, the revolutionary Swiss psychologist, discovered fascinating connections between physical characteristics and the unconscious patterns that shape our destiny. While millions of people seek answers about their purpose through expensive therapies and years of self-discovery, the answer might be literally in the palm of your hand. Jung believed that our physical body is a map of the psyche, and modern research confirms that the proportion between your fingers, determined in the womb, reveals personality traits, behavioral tendencies, and even karmic lessons we came to learn. Prepare to discover how this simple measurement can unveil the mysteries of your spiritual journey and reveal why certain situations keep repeating in your life. What is your ring finger trying to tell you about your karma? The secret hidden in the palm of your hand. Your hands hold more mysteries than you could ever imagine. Right now, as you look down at your fingers, you are staring at a roadmap that was drawn before you took your first breath. The proportions between your ring finger and index finger were set in stone during your time in the womb, influenced by hormonal waves that would forever shape who you are meant to become. This ancient wisdom isn't new. For thousands of years, palm readers and mystics have known that our hands speak a language older than words. But what they didn't know was the scientific foundation behind these truths. Your finger ratio is connected to testosterone and estrogen levels you experienced as a developing baby. These same hormones that shaped your fingers also carved neural pathways in your brain, creating the very essence of your personality and karmic blueprint. When you measure your ring finger against your index finger, you're not just looking at bone and flesh. You're witnessing the physical manifestation of your soul's deepest intentions for this lifetime. Every millimeter tells a story about the challenges you chose to face, the gifts you came to share, and the lessons you agreed to learn before you ever opened your eyes in this world. The most fascinating part is that this measurement remains constant throughout your entire life. While your body changes, grows old and transforms, this ratio stays exactly the same from birth to death. It's as if the universe tattooed your karmic signature directly onto your hands, ensuring you would always carry the truth of your purpose with you, even when you forget who you really are. Think about how many times you use your hands each day. Every gesture, every touch, every moment of creation flows through these same fingers that hold your deepest secrets. You've been carrying the answer to your life's biggest questions all along, hidden in plain sight where only those who know how to look can see it. This isn't about superstition or wishful thinking. Modern neuroscience has proven that the same prenatal hormones affecting finger development also influence brain structure in areas controlling personality, risk-taking behavior, leadership qualities, and emotional processing. Your fingers are literally connected to your mind in ways science is only beginning to understand. The beautiful truth is that recognizing this pattern is the first step toward conscious evolution. When you understand that your physical form carries encoded information about your spiritual journey, you begin to see yourself as more than just flesh and blood. You start to recognize the divine intelligence that orchestrated every detail of your existence, including the precise measurements of your fingers. Your ring finger ratio isn't random chance or genetic lottery. It's a cosmic signature that connects you to the greater web of existence. Every soul that incarnates brings with them a unique energetic fingerprint, and yours happens to be literally written on your hands. This ancient encoding system ensures that even if you lose your way in life, you always have access to your original blueprint for growth and transformation. 2. Jung and the silent language of the body. Carl Jung revolutionized our understanding of the human psyche by recognizing that our unconscious mind communicates through symbols, patterns, and physical manifestations. He discovered that the body serves as a living canvas where our deepest psychological truths are painted in ways we rarely notice, but always feel. Jung's concept of the collective unconscious suggests that we all share access to universal symbols and archetypes that transcend individual experience. Your finger proportions tap into this same collective wisdom, representing archetypal patterns that have guided human development for millions of years. When Jung studied synchronicity, he was exploring how meaningful coincidences reveal the hidden connections between our inner and outer worlds. The relationship between your physical form and psychological makeup isn't accidental according to Jungian psychology. Every aspect of your body reflects the unconscious choices your soul made before incarnation. Your finger ratio becomes a physical anchor point for understanding these pre-conscious decisions and the karmic themes they represent in your current lifetime. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming your authentic self, required integrating both conscious and unconscious aspects of personality. Your finger measurements provide a tangible starting point for this integration process. They offer concrete evidence of traits and tendencies that might otherwise remain hidden in your unconscious shadows. Through his work with patients, Jung observed that people often displayed physical characteristics that perfectly matched their psychological profiles. He noticed that certain body types, facial features, and even hand shapes corresponded to specific personality patterns and life challenges. This wasn't mere correlation, but evidence of a deeper organizing principle that shapes both mind and matter. The shadow self, one of Jung's most important discoveries, represents the parts of ourselves we deny or repress. Your finger ratio can reveal shadow aspects of your personality that you've been unconsciously avoiding. Perhaps your measurements suggest leadership qualities you've been afraid to embrace, or creative abilities you've been too scared to express. Jung's analytical psychology emphasizes that symptoms and problems in our lives often point toward unlived aspects of our potential. If you keep attracting the same challenging situations, your finger ratio might reveal the unlived qualities you need to develop to break these karmic cycles. The body becomes a wise teacher guiding you toward wholeness. The concept of compensation in Jungian theory suggests that our psyche naturally seeks balance. If your conscious personality leans heavily in one direction, your unconscious will push you toward the opposite extreme to maintain equilibrium. Your finger proportions can illuminate these compensatory forces and help you understand why certain situations keep appearing in your life. Jung's approach to dream interpretation focused on symbols and their personal meanings for each individual. Similarly, your finger ratio should be interpreted within the context of your unique life story and psychological makeup. The same measurement might mean something completely different for two people based on their personal history and current life circumstances. By the way, if you're curious to go even deeper and integrate your shadows and light, check out the SIM Method ebook. It's a concise guide that can help you unlock your inner power in just 5 minutes a day. The link is in the first pinned comment below. 3. The science behind your fingers. Modern research has uncovered remarkable connections between prenatal hormone exposure and lifelong personality traits that Jung could only theorize about decades ago. The ratio between your ring finger and index finger, known scientifically as the digit ratio, provides a window into the hormonal environment that shaped your developing brain and nervous system. During the second trimester of pregnancy, testosterone and estrogen levels surge through the developing fetus, influencing not just physical development, but also brain architecture. Higher testosterone exposure typically results in a longer ring finger relative to the index finger, while higher estrogen exposure creates the opposite pattern. These same hormones simultaneously sculpt neural pathways that will influence behavior for the rest of your life. Researchers have discovered that people with longer ring fingers, indicating higher prenatal testosterone exposure, tend to exhibit increased confidence, assertiveness, and competitive drive. They often excel in spatial reasoning, mathematical ability, and leadership roles. Their brains developed enhanced connections in areas associated with risk-taking, strategic thinking, and goal-oriented behavior. Conversely, individuals with longer index fingers, suggesting higher estrogen influence, typically display enhanced verbal abilities, emotional intelligence, and collaborative skills. Their neural development favored areas of the brain responsible for communication, empathy, and relationship building. These differences aren't better or worse, just different expressions of human potential. The fascinating aspect of this research is how it connects ancient wisdom about personality types with cutting-edge neuroscience. What mystics and philosophers have long suspected about the connection between physical form and character traits now has measurable scientific backing. Your finger ratio represents a biological snapshot of the neurochemical forces that shaped your fundamental nature. Studies involving thousands of participants across different cultures have consistently found these same patterns, suggesting that finger ratios tap into universal aspects of human development rather than cultural conditioning. The relationship between prenatal hormones, finger proportions, and personality traits appears to be hardwired into our species' evolutionary blueprint. Brain imaging technology has revealed that people with different finger ratios actually show distinct patterns of neural activity and brain structure. Areas associated with spatial processing, emotional regulation, and social cognition develop differently based on the hormonal environment experienced in the womb. Your fingers literally reflect the architecture of your mind. This scientific foundation doesn't diminish the spiritual significance of finger ratios, but rather enhances it. Understanding the biological mechanisms behind these patterns helps us appreciate the intricate wisdom involved in human development. Every aspect of your being, from your physical form to your deepest personality traits, emerges from the same underlying intelligence. The research also reveals that these patterns influence behavior in subtle but consistent ways throughout life. People unconsciously gravitate toward activities, careers, and relationships that align with their neurological predispositions. Your finger ratio might explain why certain paths feel natural and energizing while others feel forced and draining. Recent studies have even found connections between finger ratios and specific life outcomes, including career success in different fields, relationship patterns, and approaches to problem solving. While these correlations don't determine your destiny, they do suggest that understanding your biological blueprint can help you make choices that align with your natural strengths and inclinations. 4. Long finger. Intense karma. What it means. When your ring finger stretches longer than your index finger, you're carrying the mark of a soul that chose intensity over comfort in this lifetime. This physical signature reveals that you experienced higher testosterone levels before birth, which didn't just shape your finger proportions but carved deep channels in your brain for courage, ambition, and the drive to push beyond ordinary limits. Your longer ring finger whispers ancient secrets about the karmic lessons you signed up for before taking human form. You didn't come here to play it safe or blend into the background. Your soul chose the path of the warrior, the leader, the one who breaks new ground even when others fear to follow. This isn't always an easy burden to carry, but it's the sacred contract you made with existence itself. The intensity that flows through your being isn't random or accidental. It's the direct result of neurochemical programming that happened while you were still floating in the cosmic soup of your mother's womb. Higher testosterone exposure created enhanced connections between brain regions responsible for spatial reasoning, competitive drive, and strategic thinking. Your mind was literally wired for challenges that would make others retreat. This biological blueprint manifests as an almost magnetic attraction to situations that test your limits and force you to grow. You might find yourself repeatedly drawn to high-stakes environments, leadership positions, or scenarios where others depend on your strength and decision-making abilities. What feels like coincidence is actually your karmic programming pulling you toward the experiences your soul needs for evolution. The shadow side of this intense karmic signature often appears as impatience with slower-moving energies around you. You might struggle with people who seem content with mediocrity or who lack the fire that burns so brightly within you. This impatience isn't a character flaw, but a sign that you're meant to be a catalyst for change and growth in the lives of others. Your longer ring finger also indicates that you carry strong masculine energy, regardless of your biological gender. This doesn't mean you're aggressive or domineering, but rather that you possess an inner warrior capable of protecting what matters and fighting for what's right. This energy seeks expression through action, creation, and the courage to stand up when others won't. Risk-taking comes naturally to you, sometimes to your own surprise. While others calculate and hesitate, you often find yourself leaping into unknown territory guided by instincts that rarely lead you astray. This tendency isn't recklessness, but rather an unconscious trust in your ability to handle whatever challenges arise. Your soul knows it chose a strong vessel capable of weathering intense storms. The karmic lessons embedded in your longer ring finger often revolve around learning to balance power with compassion, strength with sensitivity, and leadership with humility. You came here to discover that true strength lies not in domination, but in lifting others up, not in winning at all costs, but in creating victories that benefit everyone involved. Many people with longer ring fingers report feeling like old souls who've been through this dance of existence many times before. There's often a sense of urgency about accomplishing something important in this lifetime, as if you're running out of time to complete a mission that's been years in the making. This urgency drives you forward even when you're not consciously aware of what you're moving toward. Your intense karmic signature also means you're here to break generational patterns and create new possibilities for those who come after you. You're not content to simply repeat what others have done before. Something deep within you rebels against limitation and seeks to expand the boundaries of what's possible for human consciousness. The financial and material world often responds favorably to your energy. Your brain's enhanced spatial reasoning and strategic thinking abilities, courtesy of that prenatal testosterone bath, give you natural advantages in understanding systems, seeing opportunities, and making decisions that create abundance. This isn't luck, but biological programming working in your favor. Relationships can be both your greatest source of growth and your biggest challenge. Your intense energy needs a partner who can match your depth without being overwhelmed by your strength. You're learning to soften your warrior energy enough to allow intimacy while maintaining the fire that makes you who you are. The key to mastering your intense karmic signature is recognizing that your strength is meant to serve something greater than personal gain. When you align your natural leadership abilities with genuine care for others' well-being, you step into the highest expression of your soul's purpose and begin to understand why you chose such a powerful vessel for this lifetime's journey. 5. Short finger. Different lessons. Decoding your path. If your ring finger appears shorter than your index finger, you've been blessed with a completely different karmic blueprint that's equally powerful, but expresses itself through subtlety, connection, and the mastery of human emotions. This physical signature reveals higher estrogen exposure during your prenatal development, which didn't just influence your finger proportions, but enhanced specific regions of your brain dedicated to communication, empathy, and collaborative problem solving. Your shorter ring finger carries the wisdom of the healer, the communicator, the bridge builder who helps others find their way through the complexities of human experience. While others might charge ahead with brute force, you possess the rare ability to navigate situations through understanding, patience, and emotional intelligence. This isn't weakness, but rather a sophisticated form of strength that often proves more effective than direct confrontation. The karmic lessons encoded in your finger ratio center around mastering the art of influence through connection rather than domination. Your soul chose to learn how real power flows through networks of relationship, how healing happens through presence and understanding, and how lasting change occurs when people feel seen and valued rather than conquered or controlled. Your brain developed enhanced neural pathways in areas responsible for reading facial expressions, interpreting vocal tones, and sensing the emotional undercurrents that others miss entirely. This neurological gift allows you to perceive layers of meaning in human interaction that remain invisible to those with different biological programming. You're naturally equipped to serve as an emotional translator in a world that often struggles with authentic communication. This enhanced emotional sensitivity can sometimes feel overwhelming, especially in environments filled with stress, conflict, or emotional chaos. You absorb energies from your surroundings like a sponge, which means you need to be especially careful about the people and situations you allow into your inner circle. Your karmic challenge involves learning to protect your emotional boundaries while remaining open to genuine connection. The verbal and linguistic abilities associated with your finger ratio often manifest as natural gifts for writing, speaking, teaching, or any form of creative expression that involves words and ideas. Your brain's enhanced language centers, developed through prenatal estrogen influence, give you access to nuanced communication that can heal wounds, inspire transformation, and help others articulate feelings they couldn't express on their own. Collaboration comes as naturally to you as competition does to those with longer ring fingers. You instinctively understand that the best solutions emerge when different perspectives combine rather than compete. This makes you an invaluable team member, a natural mediator who can help groups find common ground even in the most challenging circumstances. Your karmic path often involves learning to value your own contributions in a world that sometimes rewards the loudest voice rather than the wisest one. Because your influence operates through subtlety and relationship, your impact might not always be immediately visible or acknowledged. Learning to recognize your own worth without external validation becomes a crucial part of your spiritual development. The shadow side of your karmic signature can manifest as people-pleasing tendencies or difficulty setting firm boundaries when others take advantage of your empathetic nature. You might find yourself repeatedly attracting relationships where you give more than you receive, not because you're weak, but because your natural inclination toward harmony sometimes overrides your own needs. Your shorter ring finger also indicates strong feminine energy, regardless of your biological gender. This energy expresses itself through intuition, nurturing, creativity, and the ability to create safe spaces where others can heal and grow. You're naturally drawn to roles that involve caring for others, whether through parenting, counseling, teaching, or any profession that puts human well-being at the center. Financial abundance might come to you through service rather than competition. Your enhanced relationship skills and emotional intelligence make you naturally gifted at understanding what others need and finding ways to provide it. Success flows when you align your natural gifts with opportunities to make a meaningful difference in people's lives. The timing of your life experiences often unfolds differently than it does for those with more aggressive karmic signatures. While others might achieve early success through bold action, your path typically involves steady growth through accumulated wisdom and deepening relationships. Your greatest achievements often come later in life when your emotional intelligence has fully matured. Creativity flows through you in waves rather than bursts. Your artistic or innovative expressions tend to be deeply felt and carefully crafted rather than spontaneous and dramatic. You're drawn to forms of creation that require patience, sensitivity, and attention to emotional detail. Your karmic mission involves demonstrating that gentleness is not weakness, that emotional intelligence is a form of genius, and that the world needs healers as much as it needs warriors. You're here to show others that lasting change happens through understanding and connection rather than force and dominance. 6. The 3 karmic personalities revealed. Beyond the simple measurement of longer or shorter fingers lies a more nuanced understanding of how your finger ratio creates one of 3 distinct karmic personality types, each carrying its own gifts, challenges, and evolutionary purpose. These archetypes represent different approaches to learning and growth that your soul selected before incarnation. The warrior archetype emerges when your ring finger significantly exceeds your index finger, creating a ratio that speaks of high testosterone influence and a soul contract focused on courage, leadership, and breakthrough experiences. Warriors incarnate to shatter limitations, both their own and those imposed by society. They carry the karmic responsibility of being first into unknown territory, testing boundaries that others fear to approach. Warriors often struggle with patience because their internal programming constantly pushes them toward action and achievement. Their karmic lessons revolve around learning that true strength includes knowing when not to fight, when to yield, and how to lead through inspiration rather than intimidation. They must discover that their greatest victories come not from conquering others, but from conquering their own fears and limitations. The harmonizer archetype appears when your index finger clearly dominates your ring finger, indicating high estrogen influence and a soul mission centered on healing, communication, and building bridges between different worlds. Harmonizers incarnate to demonstrate the power of emotional intelligence, empathy, and collaborative problem-solving in a world that often values force over finesse. Harmonizers face karmic challenges around boundaries and self-advocacy because their natural inclination toward peace and understanding can be exploited by those with less developed emotional intelligence. Their spiritual growth comes through learning that harmony doesn't require self-sacrifice, that their gentle nature is actually profound strength, and that saying no can be an act of love, both for themselves and others. The balanced archetype manifests when your ring and index fingers appear nearly equal in length, suggesting relatively balanced hormonal exposure and a karmic path focused on integration, versatility, and teaching others about wholeness. Balanced individuals serve as living examples of how different energies can coexist and complement each other within a single person. The balanced face unique challenges because they don't fit neatly into either the warrior or harmonizer categories. They might feel pulled in multiple directions simultaneously, unsure whether to lead or follow, compete or collaborate, speak up or remain silent. Their karmic growth involves recognizing this versatility as a gift rather than a burden, and learning to access different aspects of their nature as situations require. Each archetype carries shadow aspects that become gateways to deeper understanding when properly recognized and integrated. Warriors must confront their potential for aggression and domination, learning to channel their powerful energy in service of collective good rather than personal glory. Their shadow work involves discovering vulnerability as a source of authentic strength. Harmonizers must face their tendency toward martyrdom and passive-aggressive behavior, learning that their gifts are too valuable to waste on people who don't appreciate them. Their shadow integration involves developing healthy selfishness and recognizing that caring for their own needs enables them to serve others more effectively. Balanced individuals must confront their potential for indecisiveness and scattered energy, learning to make clear choices and follow through with commitment. Their shadow work involves accepting that perfection isn't required, and that choosing one path doesn't eliminate the possibility of exploring others later. The karmic relationships between these archetypes create the dynamic tension necessary for collective human evolution. Warriors need harmonizers to soften their edges and connect them to their hearts. Harmonizers need warriors to give them courage and help them stand up for what matters. Both benefit from balanced individuals who can translate between different perspectives and help each type understand the value of the other. Understanding your archetype helps explain why certain life patterns keep repeating and why you're naturally drawn to specific types of people and situations. It's not about limitation, but rather about recognizing the unique contribution your soul came to make and the particular flavor of wisdom you're here to develop and share. The goal isn't to transcend your archetype, but to embody its highest expression while integrating qualities from the other types. This creates a more complete human being capable of responding appropriately to life's varied demands while remaining true to your core nature. Your finger ratio doesn't imprison you within a single way of being, but rather reveals the foundation upon which you can build a rich, multifaceted personality that honors both your natural gifts and your capacity for growth and transformation. 7. Why you always attract the same situations. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns keep showing up in your life like a broken record that refuses to stop playing? The answer lies not in bad luck or coincidence, but in the karmic programming encoded in your finger ratio that acts like a magnetic field, drawing specific experiences toward you until you learn what your soul came here to master. Your finger proportions reveal the unconscious filters through which you perceive and interact with the world. These filters, established before birth through hormonal influences, create a unique energetic signature that broadcasts specific frequencies into the universe. Like attracts like, and you unconsciously attract people and situations that match the vibrational patterns embedded in your cellular memory. If you have a warrior finger ratio, you're constantly broadcasting energy that says you're ready for challenges, competition, and high-stakes situations. The universe responds by sending you exactly what you're vibrating toward. This isn't punishment, but rather the cosmic delivery system ensuring you get the experiences necessary for your soul's evolution. You attract demanding bosses, competitive environments, and situations requiring quick decision-making because your energy signals that you're capable of handling intensity. Warriors often find themselves in relationships with people who need protection, guidance, or someone to fight their battles for them. This isn't accidental, but karmic attraction at work. Your strong energy naturally draws those who feel weak or uncertain, creating opportunities for you to practice leadership while learning the fine balance between helping and enabling others to find their own strength. The repetitive nature of these attractions continues until you learn the deeper lessons they contain. If you keep attracting people who drain your energy or situations that require you to constantly prove yourself, the pattern will persist until you develop the wisdom to recognize your own worth without external validation. Your finger ratio shows you're capable of strength, but your karmic growth requires learning when to use that strength and when to step back. For those with harmonizer finger ratios, the magnetic pull operates differently but just as powerfully. You broadcast frequencies of empathy, understanding, and emotional availability that draw wounded people like moths to a flame. Your energy signals that you're a safe space for healing, which means you consistently attract individuals who need emotional support, guidance, or someone to listen to their problems. Harmonizers often find themselves in patterns of one-sided relationships where they give more than they receive. This happens because your empathetic energy unconsciously promises healing and understanding to anyone who encounters it. The universe keeps sending you these experiences until you learn to distinguish between healthy, supportive relationships and emotional vampirism that depletes your energy without offering mutual exchange. The same situations keep appearing because your unconscious mind is trying to help you master specific skills or overcome particular fears. If you repeatedly attract controlling partners, your soul is providing opportunities to practice setting boundaries and claiming your personal power. If you consistently find yourself in chaotic environments, you're being offered chances to develop inner peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. Balanced individuals face their own unique pattern of attraction that often involves being pulled between extremes. You might find yourself repeatedly caught in the middle of conflicts, asked to mediate disputes, or placed in situations where you must choose sides. This happens because your energy signals versatility and fairness, making you a natural bridge between opposing forces. The key to breaking unwanted patterns lies in conscious recognition of what you're unconsciously broadcasting. When you become aware of the energetic signature your finger ratio represents, you can begin to consciously modify how you interact with the world. This doesn't mean fighting against your nature, but rather expressing it more skillfully and purposefully. Understanding your karmic magnetism also helps explain why certain environments feel energizing while others drain you completely. Warriors thrive in competitive, goal-oriented settings, but may feel suffocated in overly collaborative environments. Harmonizers flourish in supportive, relationship-focused spaces, but may struggle in cutthroat competitive situations. Balanced individuals need variety and flexibility to feel fully alive. Your attractions will begin to shift naturally as you integrate the lessons your current patterns are trying to teach you. When warriors learn to lead with wisdom rather than force, they start attracting followers who genuinely respect their guidance rather than those who simply fear their power. When harmonizers develop healthy boundaries, they begin attracting people who value their gifts rather than those who exploit their kindness. The same karmic magnetism that creates challenging patterns also has the power to attract wonderful experiences once you align with its highest expression. Your finger ratio isn't working against you, but rather trying to guide you toward the relationships and situations that will help you become the person your soul intended you to be in this lifetime. Recognition of these patterns is the first step toward conscious evolution. Instead of feeling victimized by repeated experiences, you can begin to see them as cosmic curriculum designed specifically for your growth and development. Every person you attract and every situation you encounter becomes a teacher, offering exactly the lessons you need to complete your karmic assignments. 8. Transforming knowledge into spiritual evolution. Now that you understand the profound connection between your finger ratio and karmic patterns, the real work begins. Knowledge without application remains merely interesting information, but when you actively engage with these insights, they become powerful tools for conscious evolution and spiritual transformation. The first step in this transformation involves honest self-assessment of how your finger ratio has been influencing your life choices, relationships, and responses to challenges. Take time to reflect on recurring patterns in your experience and identify how they align with your karmic archetype. This isn't about judgment or criticism, but rather about recognition and acceptance of the path your soul chose for growth. Warriors must learn to harness their natural intensity in service of higher purposes rather than personal gain or ego gratification. This means consciously choosing battles that matter, developing patience with those who operate at different speeds, and recognizing that true leadership involves empowering others rather than dominating them. Your transformation comes through discovering that your greatest strength lies in knowing when not to use your power. Begin by setting daily intentions to express your warrior energy through protection rather than aggression, through inspiration rather than intimidation. Practice pausing before reacting in challenging situations, asking yourself whether your response serves the highest good of everyone involved. This conscious restraint doesn't diminish your power, but refines it into wisdom. Harmonizers face the challenge of maintaining their empathetic gifts while developing stronger boundaries and self-advocacy skills. Your transformation involves learning that taking care of your own needs isn't selfish, but essential for sustainable service to others. When you honor your own emotional and energetic limits, you become more effective at helping others rather than less. Start by practicing small acts of self-care and boundary setting in low-stakes situations. Notice how it feels to say no to requests that don't align with your values or energy levels. Observe how people respond when you prioritize your own well-being, and recognize that those who truly care about you will support your efforts at self-preservation. Balanced individuals must embrace their versatility as a strength rather than viewing it as indecisiveness or lack of focus. Your transformation comes through learning to trust your intuitive sense of what each situation requires and developing confidence in your ability to adapt appropriately. Instead of trying to fit into rigid categories, celebrate your capacity to respond fluidly to life's varying demands. The practical application of finger ratio wisdom extends into every area of life, from career choices to relationship decisions. Warriors might consciously seek roles that allow them to pioneer new territories or lead others toward positive change. Harmonizers might gravitate toward positions that involve healing, teaching, or facilitating communication between different groups. Balanced individuals might thrive in roles that require adaptability and the ability to work with diverse personalities and situations. Your finger ratio can also guide you toward more compatible relationships by helping you understand what types of people complement your energy rather than compete with it or drain it. Warriors often benefit from partners who appreciate their strength without feeling threatened by it. Harmonizers thrive with people who value their emotional intelligence and reciprocate their caring nature. Balanced individuals need relationships that offer both stability and variety. The deepest transformation occurs when you begin to see your finger ratio not as a limitation but as a sacred gift that connects you to the cosmic intelligence that orchestrated your existence. Every aspect of your physical form, including the precise measurements of your fingers, reflects the wisdom of forces far greater than your individual consciousness. This recognition naturally leads to greater self-acceptance and appreciation for the unique contribution you came to make in this lifetime. Instead of wishing you were different or comparing yourself to others, you begin to honor the specific flavor of consciousness you represent and the particular perspective you bring to the collective human experience. As you integrate these insights more deeply, you'll notice that life begins to flow more smoothly. Decisions become clearer because you're no longer fighting against your natural inclinations, but rather expressing them in their highest form. Relationships improve because you're attracting people who genuinely appreciate your authentic nature, rather than those who want to change you. The ultimate goal isn't to transcend your karmic patterns, but to express them consciously and purposefully. When warriors learn to fight for justice rather than personal glory, when harmonizers learn to heal without sacrificing themselves, and when balanced individuals learn to adapt without losing their center, they step into the fullest expression of their soul's purpose. Your finger ratio becomes a daily reminder that you are not an accident of biology, but a carefully crafted expression of cosmic intelligence. Every time you look at your hands, you can remember that you carry within your very cells the blueprint for becoming everything your soul intended you to be in this lifetime. The transformation from unconscious pattern to conscious choice is the greatest gift you can give both to yourself and to the world that needs your unique contribution.